Hunter, and welcome to another episode of the Need for Speed Most Wanted Car Build. And this particular part is not so much going to be about the normal as you usually been expecting from the series from now on. Rather, it's going to be something that I knew was probably going to come at some point down the road, but this car is going to be the start of a series of basically a change in how I look at the car build series. Now, of course, as you knew for a long time, ever since I started doing these series, what I would do is take as many cars as I can and take them through the Petersburg test track and try to give them as fast of a lap time as possible. And, you know, I'm still going to do that, of course, with this car here. But, as you're probably going to find out, like, I usually do I usually practice some cars well in advance, and this was not planned to be originally the next vehicle, but after driving this around, it came to a sudden realization that this car, which is the Sega Speedstar from Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, has pretty much, in a lot of ways, kind of, well, the safe way to put it is, I don't know why I'm stopping. The safe way to put it is, it's kind of broken it. Now, the Peugeot 406 Taxi that you saw in the previous, in a few parts back, was pretty ridiculous. But just wait till you see why I'm saying there's going to have to be a change in how we look at the series, thanks to this car. So, as I usually do, as always, we've taken the Sonic Speedstar, or Sega Speedstar here, to the Petersburg test track to give it 6 laps to try to do as fast of a lap time as we possibly can. Now, you already know, of course, the leading car is the Peugeot 406 Taxi, which has a 50.17 second lap time. But after testing this car out, doing in practice, which, by the way, in case you're wondering, this car was requested by Rhino GT4, technically. I just want to make sure I got that out of the way because I forgot to mention. And this also replaces the Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG bonus car. However, thankfully you still can put junkman parts on it, which is nice. You'll see why I'm saying that we may have to take a different viewpoint on the car build going forward into this. So, of course, we just basically get this car a bit of a warm-up light. You probably already see right now, the acceleration on this car is monstrous. It's got a pretty good top end. The top end on this car is 224 miles an hour. So it's not it's not the highest, but it's still, you know, right at the money. And of course, I think you probably notice more than anything else right now is the fact that handling-wise, this car is a little extreme. This is the grippiest car I've ever used in this game. I noticed I have not hit the brakes once yet. I have been taking corners at over 200 miles an hour in most cases. That's just how fast this thing is. So, I don't think it takes a genius to know just exactly where this is going to land on the leaderboard. In fact, I think what you're better off guessing is just by how much, and why I'm saying this is pretty much broken the leaderboard. Well, I've already broken the leaderboard. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I like to test cars well in advance before they're, in some cases well in advance before they're put up on YouTube, where I do the proper run. And that's, you know, just usually so I can get a hang of what the car feels like to drive and everything, so. And I knew at some point we were going to have a car that would really kind of break it. And see, look at that, with a far from perfect run, and that was a 48.21. That's nearly 2 seconds faster than the Peugeot. So, yeah. So think about it this way. A run where you don't hit anything at all and you go really fast, you're pretty much looking at a low 46-second lap time. That's how ridiculous this damn car is. Just it's mental, and it's because it's broken. It's Sonic. Why must you break everything? Yeah, it pretty much is just you get the idea. It will do ludicrously fast lap times because this car is ludicrously fast. In fact, it's such an interesting car that I've got a special video planned for this particular mod, so stay tuned for that. It'll probably be out maybe within the same day this video is up. Probably. I will most likely do that. But you just... I could pretty much stop the car now because we already know it's way in front. Like, it is nearly 4 seconds ahead of second place. The car is pretty much on an absolute level of ludicrousness. So, and I don't know how else to put it into words, to be honest. It's insane. Well, there's one of the downsides of the handling. You get a little loose like that, and it's very hard to recover the car. So, it's one of its only downfalls, though. Apart from that, it's just a ridiculously quick car. Just because you see, I already mentioned, I think, a few times. I knew there would be a car that would eventually do it. The only thing was I was not expecting it to be this. From this point on, what I'm going to be doing is, for the car builds, they'll still be retaining much of the original format. It'll basically be take the cars, put all the parts on it, run them through Petersburg, see what kind of time they get, and show it where it would be on the leaderboard. But there's no longer going to be a mentioning of, what car's first place or anything like that. In fact, for all I know, I might just alter it around and maybe show off 3 different, and go for some of like what Failrace does, where he's the downhill challenge GTA videos, where I show off 3 cars in one video, and just put them on the overall time to give you an idea. And it'll be more focused on how the car feels and everything, and then the time is just something that's shown there. So it'll be a different direction it'll pretty much be a different direction, to say the least. So, because at this point we pretty much know that we're gonna probably end up having cars that are ridiculously fast or ridiculously slow, and it'll just go all over the place to basically make things a little more complicated. I could have technically already stopped there, but let's just see exactly how fast I can get. I think in practice I know that my best has not been achieved yet here, but then again, to achieve that which is not going to happen on that lap, is not the easiest thing to do. So, but yeah, so that'll probably be the idea from now on. We'll have 3 cars in a video, and it'll be more focused on how I feel about how the cars drive and whatnot, and instead of just 1 car per video, or you just and the one good thing too that comes out of it is it allows me to go through the mod list a bit quicker, so my list doesn't just pile up and whatnot. It'll help cut things down, cut a bit of time down on it, to say the least. So it's just, when I was testing this, I expected the car was probably going to be quick, but certainly not this quick. So of course, just when you have everything under control, here comes a blue hedgehog for some reason in a car to come and completely make you change how you're supposed to do everything. God, why? Why must I be bestowed upon this? But you pretty much get the idea. That's essentially just how it works. You see, if you can even look at that, the average speed was 180 miles an hour. If I didn't have the lap where I just kind of sat still for a bit to do like the little intro, that probably would have been even higher too, and as well as the lap where I spun. But yeah, 46.42 seconds. It's such a distance ahead in first place. It's like ridiculously way up there. So that's why we're going to be taking a bit of a new direction with the series. So, apologies about it, but, I knew at some point eventually we were going to have that car that was just going to force me to change things up, but, I'm okay with that. But as always, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. If you have suggested a mod already, wait until your mod is up before you suggest another one. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and take care.